welcome to my channel. So with this dream, I'm just gonna kind of go over like the most recent one that I had. This I feel like has a lot to do with me speaking because I was very concerned about making a video and talking about my experiences because I know that it's kind of like a hard pill to swallow for most people. They don't really understand it, or they think it's too far out there. So in this dream, I remember I was in a store, and for some reason my clothes were on display, but they were also like discarded, and people were like, the workers there were like sitting on the clothes, my clothes, and they were all like smushed and wrinkled and just kind of like a mess. And I remember I was like picking them up, trying to take them, and I guess like spiritually, I guess that represents my coverings, like my identity. So I don't know if that means like my my image is being like discarded, I guess, or my story. That's kind of how I interpreted it. But then it's funny because like I went outside for some reason, and there was like this snow machine, and I had to take it out to the snow, like this machine, to clean off my clothes. And there's people out there, and they were kind of like sitting around by this machine, and I knew I had to clean my clothes this way, so I needed this clean white snow. So I brought it over, and I was doing it the way that felt natural to me to clean it, and all this white snow was coming out. But then the people were getting like pissed off at me in the dream. They did not like that I was like cleaning off my garments this way with this white snow. And some guy in the dream ended up like flipping the machine in a different direction, and everyone was happy, and I went ahead and went over there, and I started like pushing this, pushing the button for the snow to come out to clean my clothes, and then all the snow came out dirty. And everyone was happy, but the snow came out dirty. So for me, that almost is like symbolism for the way that I feel like I need to deliver the message that comes out natural is going to be like the most pure. But if I try to downplay it, or kind of like tiptoe around certain areas, or not mention everything just in fear of people being upset with me, then the message comes out dirty. So that's kind of how I interpret it. So yeah, everything that I'm getting on here, everything that I'm getting on here, I try to be as, you know, factual with what I've received, but I never try to uh, place a definitive interpretation. Because like I've said in previous videos, I'm not dogmatic about the interpretations. I just know what feels right for me, but if someone else thinks it's something, different to them, that's completely fine. So, yeah, that one was kind of a interesting dream, but I, yeah, those are just some of the, kind of the dreams that I have, that I try to make sense of it, because I'm not used to like picking apart my dreams like this. I never really paid attention to them, and it's just because I had so many weird, odd dreams and then visions and words spoken that I started really paying attention, and then things kind of started clicking for me. So, yeah, that was one of the dreams that I had about my message, like spiritually, I guess, that I need to make sure that I do it the way that I feel comfortable and what feels natural to me, and not try to sugarcoat anything, and be as truthful of what I receive, and not downplay it, or not mention things in fear of people not liking the message, essentially. So that was one of the things. And then also, in this whole grand scheme of things, I did have a vision of Jesus, and I wanted to kind of save this for another video, but I'll go ahead and talk about it. But in this vision, I woke up in the morning, and I had this vision that I was like on a boat. It was a wooden boat, and the atmosphere was like kind of dark and stormy, and I remember seeing someone in front of me, and he was wearing like I would say like a burgundy robe, because it looked purple and deep red at the same time. It's like two colors in one, and it went all the way down to his feet. And I remember I was looking at like his feet and then the robe, and then I like was scanning him up, and then I saw his face. And he was really dark, and he had black hair. His hair was wet, shoulder length. It had kind of like a little swirl, like a wave to it from being wet. And when he looked at me, his eyes were gold, and they were just glowing, and they looked like they were just illuminated from within. And I was just like, wow, like this guy's eyes. And I'm like, then I realized like who I was looking at. I was looking at Jesus. And he kind of smiled at me, and his teeth just like shone really bright. They were just like bright white. So like the light was coming from inside him and coming out. And it was like the same thing for his eyes too. So at that point I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. It's like I was having these visions of him, and he was looking at me, and he kind of gave me this smile, like he knew, like he knows something I don't. And I felt like I was part of this like ship, and I was on the dock, or not the dock, but the deck, and I just felt like we were in this storm together. Is kind of how I felt. And when I woke up, I was texting my father because I was like, I think I saw Jesus, because he like I don't every depiction that I've seen of him, that's not what he looked like, but he was very dark. He had a very long face, and he had a long nose, and his eyes were gold, but they were like illuminated like lamps. I don't know how else to describe it, but I did make a video of this. Like I had AI recreate it. And then I started looking into like the robes, and that makes sense that it's like the red for blood and then purple for royalty. It's like the sacrifice and sacrificial king. So the sacrificial lamb king. And I noticed too, like just with all my other experiences, I keep getting this dual theme of like king and priest, and then it makes sense that the robe would be presented in like two different colors but the same, like they were one. So it's pretty amazing. And then I started looking into, my dad was telling me that I should look at Revelation now, because I was holding off doing it because I didn't want to have like confirmation bias where I was like actually looking at something and then dreaming about it, after reading it. But I saw that in Revelation 1:14 it says his eyes were as a flame of fire, and then also in Daniel 10:6 it says his eyes as lamps of fire. And then it also talks about his skin being like bronze. Well, his skin was very dark bronze. And then it talks about his robe reaching down to his feet, and then the voice like many waters, and thunders and lightnings, like with all these different verses. So I'm like, wow. It's like, for someone who never read the Bible, I sure am getting a lot of biblical things that I didn't know about. And I even asked too that night, I was like, did I really see you? Like, did I see a vision of you? And I prayed, and I was like, can I have some kind of confirmation? And then the next morning I had another vision, and it was of like an ocean, and out of the ocean a rainbow came out from the ocean up to the sky. So I was like, well, I'm going to take that as a sign, because, it's just pretty, I know it sounds completely crazy. Like, I don't know what everything means, but I know that the rainbow is the sign of the covenant. So it's a covenant sign. And it also says in Revelation 4:3 that there was a rainbow around the throne room. So yeah, I even when I make this video, like I just don't know how else to, like, I don't know if people are looking for a reaction, because I know some people on YouTube, they cry and they're hysterical when they see, but I'm more of like an amazement and like awe, that I was just like, I don't know how else to describe it. I guess I'm just different, where I'm just kind of like speechless. So but yeah, I took that as a sign of that, okay, like I need to start reading now, because I feel like I got the bulk of the message, and I've had enough things happen that I found were in the Bible that I'm like, all right, I have my proof that I'm not just like absorbing information and then dreaming about it, because I haven't read about this stuff. But anyway, that's my story. So if you stuck around long enough, thank you for watching my testimony. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If you haven't, please do so. That would definitely help me out and get my message out there. And like I said, I'm more of just like a bridge to talk about my testimony, about how I never read the Bible, never went to church, and never sought Christ out until this stuff started happening, and then it all clicked for me and I started seeking him out. So right now I'm just like on my journey with reading the Bible and learning. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good night.